the soft places. I don't remember when I started slipping through. It wasn't a dream. Dreams don't linger behind your eyes after waking like dust on lashes. This was different. It began as a flicker, like déjà vu, but deeper. An ache in the chest, like something had been removed from me in a place I had never been. The first time was in a hotel hallway. Not my hotel. I was walking back to my room after a conference, mind full of meaningless names and coffee breath. But when I stepped off the elevator, everything was quiet, too quiet. No whir of air conditioning, no muffled televisions behind doors, just silence and the buzzing overhead light that flickered at a nauseating rhythm, too slow to ignore. The carpet was patterned in a sickly yellow and blue lattice, identical in every direction, repeating like a broken prayer. I walked forward, but each door I passed was numbered 237. No matter how far I went, no matter how many turns, all the doors were 237, and none would open. Eventually I turned around, but I couldn't find the elevator again. I must have passed out or dissociated or something. Because next thing I knew, I was waking up in my hotel bed, still dressed, sweating through my shirt. I chalked it up to stress. That was the easy answer, the safe one. But then it started happening more often. Office buildings where the floor plans stretched too far. Fluorescent lights whistling overhead like old televisions, flickering at the corner of my eye. Schools after hours, lockers all closed but echoing with sounds. Chairs scraping, distant murmurs, the faint shiver of a bell that never rang. Parking garages where every exit was a ramp that just looped endlessly. The shadows long and bending wrong at the corners. And the liminal spaces began to follow me. At first they were subtle. A stairwell that led to nowhere. A corridor at the hospital that didn't show on the floor map. A mall bathroom with mirrors that almost reflected me correctly. Almost. Just enough to make my skin itch. But then came the places that weren't places. The dream lobbies. Empty arcades with no games but still humming with power. Waiting rooms without windows. Pale blue sofas arranged in loops, forever waiting for someone who'd never be called in. The clocks all read 3:33. Always. And that smell. Like old carpet soaked in bleach and something metallic underneath. Like nostalgia rotting in its own memory. I started waking up with dirt under my fingernails, sometimes red dust, sometimes black grit that smelled like ozone. My shoes were often wet. My phone would have dozens of photos I hadn't taken, blurry, off-center shots of abandoned halls, fluorescent lights, vending machines stocked with nothing but single bags of Funyuns or off-brand cola. I showed one to my friend once. He laughed. Said it looked like those dreamcore aesthetics online. I wanted to tell him that I'd smelled the hallway in that photo. That I'd stood in it, listening to a vent drip onto concrete like a metronome marking the end of time. I stopped talking about it after that. There's a particular moment when you're in one of those places, where the panic settles down, and you realize you're not trapped, not exactly. It's worse than that. You're not meant to leave. Because the moment you try, the space begins to notice. The lights dim, the air thickens. Hallways change lengths when you're not looking. What was a short walk is now an echoing march through identical doorways. And if you stop walking, the silence grows until it hums inside your skull. There are no creatures, no jump scares, just the crushing weight of wrongness. Like the world forgot how to be real here. Last night I found myself in an airport. It was dead silent. No planes, no staff. Just the rhythmic whine of escalators moving nothing. Every gate screen read flight delayed. I waited. For hours maybe. Days? Time doesn't feel right in those places. A woman sat across from me. She had no luggage. She didn't blink. And when I tried to speak, my voice came out flat like I was underwater. Her lips moved, but no sound followed. Then I blinked, and she was gone. There was only her chair, slowly spinning. I don't know how I got back. I never do. But now it's bleeding over. I look out my window, and sometimes the street outside is just gone. replaced by an endless stretch of carpeted office floor and potted plants gathering dust. I blink and it's back, but I know it's only a matter of time. I think I'm being phased out like a cassette tape played too many times. The world is rewinding me into the static. So if you find yourself in a place that feels still, too still, if the lights buzz in that nauseating frequency, if the patterns repeat just slightly too perfectly, don't look too long. Don't stop walking, don't acknowledge it. And whatever you do, don't try to go deeper, because the spaces are watching, and they remember you now.